So today we are going to talk about Cuba Road. Me and my buddies used to go out there a lot because there was a lot of haunted stuff out there. And it was actually pretty interesting until one night. I was in my buddy's van and we were driving, and our other buddy was behind us. And we're driving down the road. And I'm looking out the back to make sure everything's okay. And a black shadow just came across and missed our van and pushed my buddy's car to the side. So, I told my buddy, I'm like, hold up, hold up, hold up. Something happened. Stop, stop, stop. So he stops. We get out. We go running to my buddy's car. They're shaking. I'm like, what happened? They're like, we don't know. We're driving, and our car just got pushed off to the side. We don't know what happened. We don't know where it came from. All we know is we got flown to the side. So we're taking a look around, the car to make sure everything is okay. The car wouldn't start. And he just put a brand new starter and a brand new battery. So we're like, great. Now what? So we're all sitting there talking and trying to figure stuff out. A buddy of mine looks over and he happens to see, kind of in the distance, some red eyes. So he starts freaking out. So everybody's like, what? So we looked in the same direction. We didn't see nothing. So my buddy tries starting his car again. So the car starts. So he's like, come on, let's go. We got to get out of here. So we got back in the van. So we started driving down the road. So we pull up to the stop sign. So we're like, okay, which way we're going to go? You can go to the right. There's where the haunted silo is. You go to the left. Well, you don't want to go to the left because that's where the mafia house is. So we ended up going to the right. So we ended up going by the haunted silo. So we get out. We waited for our other buddy to show up. He shows up. So we're starting to walk down the pathway. And all of a sudden, my friend Pat stops. And we're like, what's wrong? And he goes, no. Because look, from the distance, we saw fire. He's like, there's Satanists over there. We cannot go over there tonight. They're doing something. So they look at me right away. I'm like, we need to get out of here now. And fast. So my buddy Corey, he's like, oh, screw this. So he's the first one that takes off. Now, remind you that he's a skater, so he had this big oversized pants on that he tripped over. Which, I could help it. I started laughing my ass off. He's like, forget this. He's like, come on, help me up. So we helped him up. My friend Donna starts freaking out. And my friend Renee starts freaking out. And from a distance, all we heard was, hey, who's over there? So we're like, oh, shit, So we all started running. Of course, since I'm the bigger guy, I'm the last one in the group that, is running. Just in case something happens, at least I can protect them. So we get back to our cars. We hop in my buddy's van. My other buddies, they hop in the car. And we take off. As we're going, we see people running up from the cornfields. So, I told my buddy, I'm like, just floor it. You hit them, fuck it. Just keep going. Do not stop. I don't want to die tonight. So my friend Corey's screaming like a girl. It's just made the night even more funny. Because, if you ever hear a grown man screaming like a girl, especially a scared guy that looks tough, it is pretty damn hilarious. Anyway, so, we get away from there. So my buddy calls 911. He reports it to the cops. Within a couple minutes, you see the cop cars going towards the silo. So we're driving. So I look behind and our buddy's behind us. And we get up to the stop sign. So we go right. So we're driving, my buddy pulls up next to us at this other stop sign, and he goes, "Come on, let's just get out of here tonight. The cops are everywhere. I don't want to put up with anything. Let's just go." And we're like, "Okay, fine." So we start leaving, and we're heading out of Cuba Road, and to the right of us was the haunted cemetery. Now, when we drove past, when we first got there, the gates were closed. When we're leaving, the gates were open. And by a couple of the gravestones, you see candles lit, which there was nothing when we passed by. So my buddy Pat looks at me, and I look at him, because I'm in the back seat. He turned around. I'm like, "Dude, eyes on the road." I'm like, "You want to go?" He's like, "I'm tempted, but there's a lot of cops around. We can't take any chances." So we pulled to the side. So my buddy pulls up next to us, goes, "What are we doing?" He's like, "Let's go." So I'm like, "Well, we want to check out the haunted cemetery." He's like, "No, no, no. Not tonight. Too many cops. Let's go." I'm like, "Okay, fine." So my buddy Pat was going to pull out. His car dies out. And now his car won't start. So you hear Corey screaming like a little girl again. Donna and Renee are freaking out. I'm trying to, tell them to shut up because we have to concentrate on what we got to do. My buddy's like, "Just hold on a couple minutes. Let's see what happens. Blah, blah, blah." So finally, after a couple of minutes, my buddy, he starts the car. And it starts. So we start going. So Corey starts freaking out. He's like, look on the side of the road. Look, because there's gym shoes just running. There is nobody. It's just gym shoes. So I'm like, "What?" He goes, "There's gym shoes. Look. Well, there's that story about the runner that got hit at midnight by a truck by the cemetery. Well, we turned around. We saw the gym shoes. As soon as it hit by the cemetery, it vanished. So my buddy Corey goes, "That's it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go." I'm like, "Okay, we're leaving." So Pat pulled out, and then our buddy got behind us, and we're leaving. So we ended up going by McDonald's. We got out. We went inside. My buddy comes inside. He goes, "Hey," he goes, "come and take a look at my car." So we go back outside because he had a big flashlight that he was able to look at his car. There was a big dent on the driver's side with the handprint. So I'm like, "What the hell is that from?" He goes, "Dude, whatever hit our car left that." So right away, Corey goes, "It was a demon. It was a demon, right, Tony?" I'm like, at this point, I don't know. Right now, I don't feel nothing. He's like, "No, there was a demon. There was a definite demon. You saw the way it looked. You saw that thing. You saw it." I'm like, "I didn't see much. I saw the black shadow. I saw the car get pushed, and that was it." He's like, "No, it was a demon. I bet you. Tomorrow night, it's going to see us again, and it's going to come after us again. I bet you. I bet you." I'm like, "If it does, then we'll be prepared. But as of right now, we don't know what's going on." I'm like, "No, I'm hungry, so let's go inside." So we go inside, and we're talking about everything, what happened. So, at the end of the night, I slept over by Donna's house, and we're talking about everything that happened, and it kind of did make sense that it probably was a demon that hit the car because it drained the whole, it drained the battery. So, the next night, we go back, and we ended up going by the haunted silo again. Now, there's a story of red eyes. So, we're walking down the pathway, and my buddy happens to look over by the silo and he sees a pair of red eyes. So he starts freaking out. So I'm like, "What?" He goes, I see him. We gotta go. We're gonna get killed. We gotta go. I'm like, "Okay," so I told everybody, I'm like, "We gotta go. He spotted red eyes. He's afraid we're gonna get killed. We gotta leave." So we're going, and all of a sudden, wind picks up. So Corey starts freaking out again. So he takes off running. Again, he trips over his pants. I started laughing. But, you can't help it. You gotta laugh when you see him fall because he looks like a pole that just falls right over. So I had to help him up. Well, he kind of hurt his knee, so he had to put his arm around me, and I had to kind of like hobble him back to the car. So we get back to the car, and my buddy turns around, and not too far away from us, he sees a pair of red eyes. He goes, "Let's go. We gotta go." So everybody got in the cars, and we left. So we're driving, and we ended up going by this one haunted bridge where there was a story about these teenagers that had raped these girls. And at midnight, when you stand underneath the bridge, you can hear them screaming, the bloody murder scream. So we ended up going underneath there, and we were talking. And at midnight, you heard it. It was a loud, blood-curdling scream that just went on forever. I mean, it got so loud that it actually pierced your ears. That's how bad it was. So the two girls that were with us, they started crying. So we ended up leaving. So we called it a night. And, I ended up sleeping by my friend Renee's house again. So we're sitting there talking. And all of a sudden, she hears a knock on her basement wall. So she freaks out. So she's looking at me. She goes, "Do you feel anything?" I'm like, "Well, there is a presence, but I don't feel like it's evil. There's nothing wrong." So then I see a shadow figure go across the ceiling. So she starts freaking out. Well, it turns out that it was her grandma that was visiting, because her grandma had passed away. So she was just coming to check up on her, but, Renee's not used to the stuff that I go through. So she couldn't sleep. So we're up for a while, and then we finally ended up falling asleep. So the next day, we call everybody. They didn't want to go to Cuba Road because too much stuff was going on. Okay, fine. So I stayed at Renee's house, and me and her were watching movies, and Donna came over, all the guys came over. So Corey starts freaking out because he felt something touch the back of his neck. So I'm like, don't get scared. It's Renee's grandma. She came to visit. She want to make sure everyone's okay. And he's like, "Well, why is she got to touch me for?" I'm like, "Oh, maybe she had a thing for skater boys. I don't know." And he's like, "Don't do that to me. Don't jinx me like that. I don't want to put up with this." He goes, "I gotta go. I'm like, "Dude," you're a freaking chicken." He goes, "I don't want any spirits nearby me. Because you may be used to it, but I'm not. Because I can't deal with stuff like that. It's freaky." I'm like, "There is nothing wrong with it. There's nothing freaky about it at all. It's just the afterlife." He's like, "Yeah, but they're attracted to you." I'm like, "Yes, they are. I don't know why, but they are." So he's like, "No, I can't deal with this. I gotta go." So he goes to open up the front door. He's like, "Forget it. I gotta stay here. I can't leave." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "I saw an old lady by the staircase, a full apparition wearing a white gown." I'm like, "Oh, well then she actually showed herself to you. That's not a bad sign." He goes, "Are you crazy? Because now she's gonna attack me when I'm trying to sleep." I'm like, "No, she won't." I'm like, "She's just trying to make sure everyone's okay." And he's like, "What? I never knew her." I'm like, "But you're friends with Renee." So she just want to, again, she's checking up. So he's like, "Oh, because I got to take a piss." I'm afraid to go upstairs by myself. I'm like, fine, I'll go upstairs with you. I'm like, but I'm not holding your thing. I'm staying outside the bathroom. He's like, oh, screw you. So I'm like, come on, let's go. So we go upstairs. He goes into the bathroom. So, of course, me being a dickhead, he's like, Tony, you there? Tony! Tony, you there? I'm not saying a word. I take my fist and I pound on the door. He starts screaming, David, I pissed all over myself. I pissed all over the floor. It's everywhere. So I'm like, Corey, you there? He goes, what was that? I'm like, what was what? He goes, dude, I was calling your name and you didn't say nothing and something banged on the door. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, I had to go take a piss too. I was using the downstairs bathroom. He goes, are you serious? I pissed all over myself. I'm like, oh, well, that's not good. He's like, no, now I gotta go home and change. I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, I'll walk with you. Don't worry about it. You're fine. So he comes out. I'm like, whoa, you actually did piss all over yourself. I'm like, yeah, that's not good. So Renee comes upstairs, and she's like, what the hell happened to you? And Corey's like, I don't want to talk about it. I got to go change. And she looked at me. She goes, what did you do to him? I'm like, nothing. I went to go take a piss in the downstairs basement. And she goes, we were in the basement. I'm like, not the basement, the downstairs, near the basement, the bathroom. Oh, then what happened to him? I'm like, I don't know. He said he heard a big bang, on the door. She's like, oh, right. But she knew she knew I did something. I'm like, so now, we're going to walk back to his house so he can change real quick, and then we'll come back. So she's like, all right, fine. So we leave, and we're walking down the street. And then, it's about dusk out. And he's starting to freak out because it's starting to get darker. And I'm like, don't worry about nothing. Everything is fine. You know this neighborhood. Nothing's going to happen. So we get to his grandma's house, and he changes. Respikes his hair, comes down. So we step outside. He goes, let's call Pat. I am not walking. I'm like, why? It's only a couple blocks down. What is going to happen? Because I don't know. He goes, fine. I'm with you. Let's go. So we're walking down the street. And he's not paying attention. So he starts walking ahead more. And I get right behind him. And he's, not paying attention at all. I go right behind him. Corey! And he takes off running. I've never seen the kid run so fast in my entire life. He's holding his pants up. So he doesn't fall. We ended up getting by Renee's. So, he comes up in the driveway. He goes, you stupid asshole. I swear to God, I'm going to... Let's just go inside. So we go inside. And Renee's freaking out. I'm like, what? She's like, I saw my grandma. She was standing on the top of the staircase. I saw the full apparition. I'm like, okay. And then Corey goes, I told you. I saw the same thing. I'm like, all right, everybody stop. She's not going to hurt anybody. That's your grandma. Your grandma loved you. She's just checking up on you just to see if you're okay. I already said that. They're like, okay. So Corey goes, okay, let's just go. I can't stay here anymore. Let's just go somewhere. I'm like, all right, where are we going to go? So of course, my friend Joe, let's go to Pizza Hut. I'm starving. I'm like, dude, we just had Wendy's not too long ago. Now you want to eat it? And whatever. Let's go to Pizza Hut. So we ended up going to Pizza Hut. So we order our food. Go to sit down. So Renee's quiet. I'm like, what's wrong with you? She's like, she's like, I just seen my grandma. She's like, kind of scared of me. I'm like, don't worry about it. She's not going to do nothing. So Corey goes, I am not going to the house anymore. It is a haunted house. You bitch. You scared me for the rest of my life. I don't know how I'm going to deal with this and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, Corey. I'm like, you got nothing to worry about. You have absolutely nothing to worry about. She's not going to hurt you. So we get our food and we're sitting down. So Pat goes, you know, I thought I felt something when I used to go to the hospital because I thought I was crazy. Because I remember you telling me that if you feel something very strong, there's a spirit around. I'm like, well, yes. I've told you that plenty of times. He goes, but I always thought you were full of crap because now I know the truth. I'm like, he goes, how do you deal with it? I don't know. I've dealt with it ever since I was a kid. Me and my mom, we've dealt with it our whole lives. She started, and I picked up, you know, I picked up when probably about seventh grade is when my first experience started. And it's been like that ever since. And, I mean, sometimes it's a gift and sometimes it's a curse, but it's something that you live with, and you live with that every day. But it's time for me to get going. So I hope you guys enjoyed part of this story, and I'll have more coming up pretty soon. Good night.